Meghan Markle here.
Today is August 9th, 2025. It is 5:17 a.m. So this is my first recording since August 7th. I did a lot of recording on that day, and I was supposed to start with the Montgomery ball, but there have been so many other tweets that popped up. I'm gonna push the Montgomery ball further down. If I have time tomorrow, or if I finish whatever I'm gonna record tonight, or this morning I should say, because it's almost 6 o'clock, then I'll record them. But other than that, I want to focus on some new tweets regarding the royal family. And yeah, so the Montgomery ball will be left alone for now. I would love to tackle it, but maybe by the time I finish everything else, I may not even have the energy to record them. Alright, so this is the background of this channel. New subscribers, welcome. I see the channel's growing very slowly. Alright, so let's go on Twitter. This is the first tweet. Okay, so William insists on being called sir. Everyone knows William's always been and always will be unpleasant. Note the admission he was tolerable when Harry was around. No wonder they want Harry back to hold his hand and hide his true colors. So there's the article here. It's an archive. Let me click on it. I'm not gonna read the article. Since the squad archived it, I'll leave the link in the description for you guys. Let me pause and do it now before I forget. Okay, so it's an archive link. That's why I'm sharing that. If it was the Mirror link itself, I wasn't gonna share it. Okay, so the link is in the description. But I'm gonna focus on whatever is on Twitter. Alright, Prince William insists to be addressed by one title and nothing else. A former royal photographer who is still very much a part of the royal world says there's something going on at the palace and Prince William is changing, but not in a good way. Yeah, because now he has to do work. He has to produce. He didn't think of Harry, who's always producing, creating, initiating stuff, you know, was the driving force behind his popularity. But whoever put nonsense in his head to go against his brother, now the heat is on. Okay, so that was August 7th, the last time I recorded 2 days ago. Alright, so there's that. What's that? The New Yorker. There's the laugh here. How did I miss this cartoon? Let's see here. Funny and so true and did. So there's me here. So he doesn't want to be called Prince. Is he trying to get rid of the monarchy as well? Just saying. And not a bad idea. Yeah, it could work. Alright, so there's that. Skull was always a bit of a turd. Now he is a whole latrine. The joke they keep referring to is such a non-issue. KKK asked Meghan what she thought about trooping the colors, and Meghan gave a one-word answer: colorful. They all went into shock before she could say anymore. Maybe that's in the article. You know what that remind me when they who said one of Kate's family member, can you smell something? How did it go? I forgot how it went, but it has to do with scent. Those people have no sense of humor whatsoever. They expected her to be in awe of everything. Yeah, trooping the color. So what it is, colorful. I can't wait for King William. It is going to be a big joke. There's that. Popcorn. He was always a jealous, arrogant jerk. Yeah, since he was a child. You see videos of Harry picking up the puppy. You see Princess Diana giving Harry... No, actually, Princess Diana gave William the first choice of petting the bunny. He didn't want it. When they give him the bunny, he didn't want it. But as soon as they give it to Harry, all of a sudden, can I have it? Can I have it? So, yeah. The big price is awaits for him that's being king. He doesn't know this is the biggest price of a biggest price. But instead, there's Harry who's struggling, working hard, producing, creating, and then they keep on interfering in his work. Because, in my humble opinion, I think he feels like this is the life, okay, that he will prefer. Meanwhile, he doesn't know that Harry's working his butt off. Alright, whatever's here, that's it. Alright, all I'm about respect, but I did say to my monarchist mom decades ago that I see Queen Elizabeth II no different to anyone else. I definitely don't see Charles or his current wife, kids any different to you or me. We all have families and we all have jobs to do. Respect must be earned. The whole idea is ridiculous. The thing I find so odd is that I was brought up to greet someone as sir or ma'am or miss, Mrs., Mrs., regardless, but for a person who believes to be greater than anyone else because they can out of a royal vagina is just pure, there's the emoji here, Paham Turner, who was commissioned to work at the palace when Princess Diana, not another white old man who hasn't seen any royal since Diana died. These people should all put to rent. Desperate times. But anyway, the thing is that what's going on right now, because the hierarchy they have created, they spread around the world, okay, they the top and then everybody else below, and then they subdivide other groups. People are waking up. They don't want to buy this BS or go by their stupid rules, so they're going crazy. They will rather destroy, okay, destroy everything, because the system that they have created, because they're so freaking lazy. All right, they project their stupidity onto people. Now people are waking up from their stupidity. Now they will rather destroy everything. I'm seeing videos of people seeing the rapture. Yes, there's stuff about the Bible, the book, and things like that people have read. It could be, but majority of the thing that's gonna happen, man-made. Okay, man-made. When you see the things Trump is doing, they will destroy America to start all over again. Okay, because people are waking up from their BS. All those cut that Trump is doing, the money that he's taking from the US is to go create his waterfront properties in Israel and the Middle East. Okay, these are what's gonna build the Middle East. They will destroy America and start anew. If these people could just sit back, if you have seen those videos, I cannot even share them. Seen videos of them throwing bombs without any regard, even shooting for fun, okay, at the direction of the Palestinian territory. Just shooting out of nowhere. They don't care who's gonna get hit, nothing. These people are evil. Okay? So they're gonna destroy that area and then build it with American money. And then the same thing that they did in the Middle East, they're gonna do it in the US. Okay? Because these people have absolutely no feeling whatsoever. They are freaking vile. Monsters, evil. Next tweet. Alright, so there's that. Alright, laughing my ass off. You guys laughing my ass off. Oh, there's the B word of Wednesdays or fighting. Alright, so that's a retweet. Daily Mirror, a royal exclusive on Camilla and Tory donors yacht by Russell Myers, and a story on a murder case. What the hell? And let's not forget as well, there's so many things that's going around the world. These people are involved. These type of headlines is just to distract us from what they're really doing, to tell you the truth. There's one tweet that I have. I don't know if I'm going to have part 1 and part 2, depending on how much I say in this video, is that Venezuela, okay, is now being played out now. Because I have spoken about Venezuela in the back, couple years leading up to, I think, around the election. The current president right now, from my understanding, from things that I was seeing, he did not win. And when people start protesting, and then you start hearing things where, I about territory with what's that country nearby? Is it Ghana? Not Ghana. Not Ghana. Guyana. About some land dispute and things like that. And then they created out of nowhere. Have we resolved this issue? They brought it up, I think it was around 2023. And then the UK sent warship claiming something like there's to Guyana. They sent naval ship to Guyana as a form of support, because I think Guyana was a former territory or something like that. Because Venezuela was claiming they want the land, some dispute that never resolved. Okay, go back to some of my old videos. I raised all the key issues back then. Whatever happened to this dispute? Nothing. Because at that time, the president that these people wanted in Venezuela is what's there right now. Because when after the election, some people claim he did not win. But to secure his position and power, so they create this issue about Guyana and Venezuela, and then the UK sent naval ship claiming that they want to support or back Guyana because whatever reason that they gave. But technically, from my perspective, they didn't write about this, but this is what I got. My conclusion out of all this debacle is that they thought Biden was gonna send people to Venezuela to put order, to put the rightful, or the dispute about the presidency, the president election. And then meanwhile, all of this were happening. Venezuela was sending migrants to the U.S., a whole bunch of people to the U.S., because this is what Trump was running against, immigration. There's issue at the border. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., the people who really care about the immigration situation, they create a bill to sort of put peace and order at the border between the U.S. and Mexico. What did Trump say? He told his people not to vote for it. Okay? So you have to understand all of those strings that's happening. All of these are freaking man-made issues. Yes, there were immigrants in here doing things or whatever, because Trump had nothing to run against. He created that immigration thing. And look what's happening now. Okay? So why did I bring all of this? What was this? Oh, this is just this those headline is just to distract people from real issues. Okay? Since I brought up the Venezuela thing, I'll share it after this. Let me read some of the comments here. Okay, so the headline says here, Camilla and the Tory donors Yacht, Queen's Fee summer getaway on Saudi tycoon, 30 million pound pleasure boat. Did William plan this story in retaliation for the William and Kate on the MAGA yacht off the coast of Greece story? Absolutely. Charles and Camilla told the Daily Mail what William and Kate were up to. This is payback. Yeah, they're manufacturing things for us to talk about. Okay? Majority of the squad are talking, yes, they are squaddies. There are people, depending on who you follow. Okay? There are people who's talking about politics and some of the things. I don't know if anybody caught the, how do you call this? The connection of some of the things that I have raised. This is why I don't even bother talk too much about politics anymore, because I saw it coming. All the key issues I've raised. So now I'm just sitting back and see the ripple effect of things. But technically, these people, they want to destroy America and start all over again. If what I saw happen in the Middle East, where they're throwing bombs left and right without any concern, they don't care about kids, babies, women, children, none of that, and then they claim they're going for Hamas, and then their defense is Israel must protect itself. If they could do that in the Middle East to innocent children, I'm not surprised what might happen in the US. This is why he wanted to build the wall, keep people in, and then you can get out. All right. So I'm done with this. This is just all of this. Even William staying at the yacht when he was in Greece vacationing on the yacht, and Camilla, this story here is all a distraction. Okay, I had this at the bottom, so but since I mentioned Venezuela and I had something about Venezuela, let me just share this one with you. I'm not gonna go in the comments because these are not squatties, okay? But to show you, this is why they wanted him, this Venezuelan president, to be where he's at, and then the nonsense that they create, border issues of land between Guyana and Venezuela, out of nowhere. I don't know the result of the land dispute that they were claiming back then, that the UK had to send naval ship to Guyana, but I read between the line, it wasn't for that. All these were manufactured. All right. Breaking, Venezuela has offered $50 million for the unreleased Epstein files. Hours earlier, Trump announced a $50 million reward for President Maduro's arrest. Okay, these are just nonsense, okay? Just nonsense. Noise. I'm gonna leave this as that. That's it. Since I mentioned it on the headlines to keep people busy, not to know what's going on in the real world in terms of politics, how it's gonna affect you, I felt like I had to share that with you. Next tweet. It looks like people know that there is something not quite right about William aggressive. Okay, so that's from the Mirror. The royal commentator said, quote, "Now for me, we hear a lot more now that more and more allegations, and that's all that you can say about William are coming out." He added, "It's coming out that his staff find him at times very aggressive, and I know one of his many supporters for his housing charity, and this guy is a volunteer, and he was telling me that William is constantly onto him all day, all night, saying, 'How much money have we made? How much money have we made?' In addition to being aggressive, Pelham Turner says William's temperament has changed, that in his 20s and 30s he was easygoing, but now that he's in his 40s and his eyes on the throne, he is much more formal, insisting people address him as sir versus using his first name." Prince William, he doesn't want to be called that. So there's that. What is this recent? Yes, 7 August 2025. That's an ad. Maybe it's time. My God, I can't wait until the papers can talk about Prince William freely. So that was back in 2021. Okay, I'm willing to bet that Meghan is being used as cover for William. William the bully, not Meghan. Yeah, I mean, we know that. And this is why I keep on saying they need to put that thing out. The release, the finding, whatever they did, the investigation about them calling Meghan a bully. You mean he really believe his own hype? I think people always know that William has anger issues, but they are afraid to report on him. I mean, what they gonna do? Report on him? We've seen him hitting his father on the head. We've seen him doing things since he was a child. Nobody put a stop to it. Alright, so more about the Mirror. Mirror, Prince William's staff and charity volunteer find him at times very aggressive. You see the thing that I just read. Okay, all the effing time, not that time. Don't be too generous, Kaiser. Well, how many times have we heard the term incandescent with rage applied to William? He's been like that since childhood. That's what I was saying. According to Lady C.C. Old Diana's biography, quote, "William is a bit of a boozer." She trashed Diana in the book, by the way. William has anger control issue, apparently. You could pause and read. I'll enlarge that. I'm not gonna read everything. Okay, so that's that. The way these people soft pedal and beat around the bush to say what everyone already know, that really is an entitled jerk. I find him very aggressive, and all I did was read Prince Harry's book, Spare, and find out that he is very violent, assaulted his brother, and told him not to tell his wife, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. I think he's afraid of Meghan. And this is why he's sending those people to go after Meghan, because he can do it. When he put his finger in Meghan's face and Meghan told him to get his finger out of her face, no one ever talked to him like that. That's the thing. No one ever talked to him like that. I don't even think Harry talked to him like that. Maybe he did. I don't know. Okay, so that alone scared the shit out of him. So now he's sending his people to go after Meghan. That's what I think. Okay, and that time when he went to meet Harry, I think he went for Meghan, but Meghan wasn't there. Alright, add the and add the old incandescent with rage reports, and none of this is surprising. He has very aggressive thumbs. He uses them like weapons. Yeah, you see a couple pictures of him pointing his fingers at his wife. So I'm not surprised about the thing about him pointing his finger on Meghan. No surprises there. We lost the best friends we could have had because William and his lousy father drove him out, treated abominably by both, and they're all there to wear uniform with medals none of them have earned except Harry. Well, sadly to say, but Andrew, who from my understanding served, so him and Harry are the only two who should be wearing a uniform, but Andrew have disgraced the pretty much his reputation, so I could understand him, but they keep on attaching Harry with Andrew, but the guy is good. Harry hasn't done anything to be treated similar to Andrew. And the other thing, I'm done with this. I'm gonna move to the next one. The other thing as well, one of the things I think William is having issues right now. It's not written anywhere, but I suspect. Okay, because after Harry went to court, have his security thing reviewed, and later on we find out that William had settled with Murdoch to not, take him to court. I truly believe they settled with him and also gave him some money to prevent Harry from suing them. But William thought he had control over Harry, in my humble opinion, and he felt like, okay, I could take this extra change and then stop my brother from suing. But he didn't know that Harry has a mind of his own. And then all of this, it's caused by William, because if they had left Harry alone, a lot of things, those court and things that's happening will not happen because they refuse to leave Harry alone. Okay, so they're probably putting a lot of pressure on William because he did not do his part of the bargain. That's what I think. Okay, this is pure speculation. I didn't read that anywhere. It wasn't written anywhere. It's just what I'm assuming. Okay, so because of that driving him crazy, the papers, the people who probably give him that extra to prevent Harry from suing, but Harry didn't make any deal with them. He's doing what he needs to do, not only to protect himself and defend his mother's reputation, but William can't control that. All right, next tweet. Harry's book was nowhere near being a tell-all book. He told no family secret matter of fact. He didn't even lift the lid up on those evil mofo mother effers. Now she can tell us why people don't like the tampon and the slumlord or the rest of the welfare recipients. Okay, 23 seconds. Screenshot.
A prince second in line to the throne. Chucks in the royal family, calls them all racist, goes on national television, trashes the family, tries to destroy the institution of the...
Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
There's several conversations.
There's a conversation with you
with Harry
about how dark your baby is going to be?
potentially and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
That conversation I'm never going to share. But at the time it was awkward. I was a bit shocked.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
Okay.
I will never believe it. But now we can start the process of finding out if they ever got uttered, what the context was, and whether there was any racial intent at all. Like I say, I don't believe there was. The royals who are named in this book are King Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales.
monarchy, then writes a tell-all book. I think people have very good reason to dislike him. I don't think this is just something that people have decided not to like him. They have very good reason not to like him and not to trust him. A prince, second in line to the throne, chucks in the royal family, calls them all racist.
Who is she making reference to? Harry or Prince Charles? From my understanding, Charles wrote a book too. Okay, let's see here. I'm halfway through and no tell all secret, not A1. So she must be talking about Harry Spare. I mean, the court is there. The same way Harry is able to call these people to court, he wrote a book. If those people feel like Harry have defamed them, the court is there. And this is the thing, they're framing the book to be, making people believe this is what the book is about. This is why they run first, trying to tell people what the book is all about. Remember before Spare came out, I think somewhere in Spain, they released it by accident before it was supposed to be released. And then they're claiming certain things that was said in the book. When you really read it, it said nothing like that. Oh my God, these people are crazy. This is why they don't want you to have any emotion, all your senses. Just leave your senses to them. They'll tell you how to feel, see, think, all of these. These people are crazy. All right, let's pause this. When that evil cow Malone is a liar, she started with Prince Harry is second in line to the throne. Then that's why I was a little bit confused. Is because I heard the second in line to the throne. I'm thinking Charles, when Queen Elizabeth was alive, or then I got confused. Because Harry is what? Is it 6 or 7 in line after William's kids? Okay, when that evil cow Malone is a liar, she started with Prince Harry and second in line to the throne. Then the drags this lie further by saying Prince Harry's book Spare was a tell-all book. Please, Karen. Oops, Carol Baloney. His book about his experiences throughout his life, then meeting Meghan. Get your facts correct. He then trashed his evil family and his book. Boy, I can't wait for karma to knock your door. Have you read any of the newspaper column about Princess Diana? Absolutely vile. Now she's on to Harry and Meghan. These people are crazy. Okay, every time I see things like that, I think it's an ad. She has a problem with Harry's book about his life, but not with the countless books written about members of the royal family by royal reporters and others. The new tell-all book filled with palace source info about Fergie and her notorious ex-royal husband, Queen Elizabeth II favorite, must delight her. There's that. Tell-all. To be honest, I can't wait until he does. He didn't even scratch the surface. Okay, that's why I always keep her on mute when I see her on here on Jeremy Vine. Her voice is like dragging nails down a blackboard. Okay, she's projecting lying outright. They hear what they want to hear, believe what they wish. Biggest lie, that people outside of that island actually care about the monarchy. Said really, Harry and Meghan will be fine and blessed to live that rotten cesspool. Money obviously can buy class. Okay, most of Spare, okay, so some spelling here. Most of Spare was about Harry's army experiences, his charities, and very little about his family. Nothing new in there was already in the press or royal books. Okay, the king and the queen destroyed the monarchy. Do people forget the disloyalty the king showed his first wife for a woman with other children? Stop lying. Harry did nothing new. His father wrote a book. This is why I was a bit confused if this woman was talking about Charles' book. His father wrote a book, revealed stories about his parents, and married another man's wife with 2 children. Stop blaming her. I mean, that I'm not gonna hold this against him. It's the way he did it. Okay? Someone can be married with someone who already have children and things like that. I'm not gonna hold that part. It's the way that he did it.
The most damaging charge that is made in relation to your marriage is that you were, because of your relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, from the beginning, persistently unfaithful to your wife and thus caused the breakdown. What is your response to that persistent criticism?
Oh, that's the persistent criticism, is it? Well, and the trouble is, you see, that these things, again, as I was saying earlier, are so personal. It's difficult to know quite how to, to talk about these things in front of everybody. And obviously, I don't think many people would want to. But I mean, all I can say is that there's been so much speculation, feeding on every other kind of speculation, that it all becomes bigger and bigger. I mean, all I can say is that I mean, there is no truth in so much of this speculation. And Mrs. Parker Bowles is a great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise.
By Jonathan Dimbleby about your husband. He says that your husband renewed his relationship with Mrs. Camilla Parker Bowles. Were you aware of that?
Yes, I was. But I wasn't in a position to do anything about it.
What evidence did you have that their relationship was continuing even though you were married?
Oh, a woman's instinct is a very good one.
Is that all?
Well, I obviously had knowledge of it.
From staff?
Well, from people who minded and cared about our marriage, yes.
What effect did that have on you?
Pretty devastating. Rampant bulimia, if you can have rampant bulimia, and just a feeling of being no good at anything and being useless and hopeless and failed in every direction.
Do you really believe that a campaign was being waged against you?
Yes, I did, absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
I was a separated wife of the Prince of Wales. I was a problem, full stop. Never happened before. What do we do with her?
Can't we pack her off to somewhere quietly rather than campaign against her?
She won't go quietly. That's the problem. I'll fight till the end. I don't think many people would want me to be Queen. Actually, when I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into, because they've decided that I'm a non-starter.
Why do you think they've decided that?
Because I do things differently, because I don't go by a rule book, because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work, I understand that. But someone's got to go out there and love people and show it.
And do you think that because of the way you behave, that's precluded you effectively from becoming Queen?
Yes, well, not precluded me, I wouldn't say that. I just don't think I have as many supporters in that environment than I did.
You mean within the royal household?
They see me as a threat of some kind. And I'm here to do good. I'm not a destructive person.
Why do they see you as a threat?
I think every strong woman in history has had to walk down a similar path. And I think it's the strength that causes the confusion and the fear. Why is she strong? Where does she get it from? Where is she taking it? Where is she going to use it? Why do the public still support her? When I say public, you're going into an engagement and there's a great many people there.
Okay, and refused to leave the wife to live in peace until she had to go. I mean, God, you have a lot to do. Baggage for you. Stop blaming Harry for what he's not responsible for. We saw the truth. Harry is strong, positively reminding people of the monarchy. Without his action, many will have forgotten it. And the other thing, this is what I'm saying. People are not buying their BS. They fixated on something, a narrative. This is the way you're supposed to see it. But people are not buying their BS anymore. So they're going crazy. Sharing this woman's lies helps spread her propaganda. She has an agenda and wasn't even on topic, but lying to divert from the fact of the finding. We should be spreading her. Okay, we should. Okay, she meant to say we should not. We should not be spreading her. Second in line to the throne. Don't think so. All right. She's so busy trying to sell her BS. Next tweet. Alright. The plan was simple: push her out, keep him in. But what the royal family never counted on was that Harry would choose love and freedom over duty and tradition. Okay, someone have said that in my comment section. I mean, there's so many branch when you look at Harry, the royal family in general situation. There are so many branches. You could look at certain situation. You know, they intertwine. Alright, they thought they had Harry figured out. The dutiful spare, loyal to the crown, no matter the cost. In their eyes, Meghan was a phase, an inconvenience to be worn down until she either walked away or was crushed under the weight of the palace life. The plan was simple: push her out, keep him in. But what the royal family never counted on was that Harry would choose love and freedom over duty and tradition. When he left, not just for a break, not just for a trial year, but for good. And all of this, again, they create that. They, the royal family. They didn't even give him that 1 year review. They interfere within that 1 year review. There's a possibility they would have, I don't know, because it seems like they wanted to stay, but they didn't give them the time to reflect and think. Well, then again, they even said 50-50. They didn't want that. These people are crazy. They are tormented. The palace lost more than a prince. They lost the only member who could bridge the old world and the new. But dude, these people, they don't want to change.
As we're in this moment of transition, I think it's not unnatural that people are having conversations about the monarchy and the place of the monarchy in various countries, Canada included. And some of the recent polling is suggesting that there is a drop in the percentage of people who would like to see the monarchy continue. How do you deal with that as a family?
Well, we don't, in many respects, need to deal with it. Mm-hmm. Not least of all because it is the monarch that is the key to this, and the constitution that underpins the monarchy. We as a family see ourselves there as to support that role. What we do, we hope, contributes to the monarchy and the way in which it can convey continuity of not just interest but of service, of understanding, the way that people and communities want to live their lives. And I think so often we get the chance to see communities and the people who do things really well and are very generous with their time in a way that, if you look at the media, you tend not to get that impression.
Are there conversations about relevance?
There will be everywhere. It's not a conversation that I would necessarily have. I think it's perfectly true that it is a moment when you need to have that discussion. But I would just underline that the monarchy provides, with the constitution, a degree of long-term stability that is actually quite hard to come by any other way.
Hmm. And when we think about this duty, this role that the king has taken on, what kind of king do you think he'll be?
Well, you know what you're getting because he's been practicing for a bit, and I don't think he'll change. And I don't think he'll change. You know, he is committed to his own level of service. That will remain true.
They do not want to change. So what the old world? To bring the, what do you call this? What Trump was saying? MAGA, make America great again. So to make the UK great again. They don't even want to change. They want to go back. Or stay the same, should I say. The only one with the global reach and moral credibility to carry the monarchy into the future, and they've never recovered. That's their undoing. Harry told them. This is why they didn't want Harry in the institution, because Harry was voice of reasoning. When he was marrying Meghan, he even told the Queen, use Meghan as that to connect with the other black and brown Commonwealth countries. Did they listen? No. Or maybe should I say men in gray suit, part of the business people with the Trump MAGAs and all of that, they had their agenda. They wanted to go against, if what Harry was trying to advise the Queen to receive Meghan, to pretty much have Meghan as the bridge to connect with the black and brown Commonwealth countries. But men in gray suit, the MAGAs, were against that. When you look at the RNC that happened in the US, you see 2 former prime ministers and 1 influencer and 1 politician came, well, the 2 former prime ministers, they are politicians, but I think a current MP, okay, 4 of them, I believe. 4 of them came to the RNC to support Trump. So when I said there are MAGAs in every country, this is what I'm saying. They wanted the type of things that's happening in the US. They planned that out a long time ago. So when Harry was giving voice of reasoning to the Queen, it was against the MAGA type in the UK. So what they had to do is get Harry out of there. Put nonsense. When I said the UK is good at psychology, they are good at psychology. In a negative way. Not to heal, but to create, to torment people. They put nonsense in William's head because they didn't want to do it themselves. They put nonsense in William's head. Oh, your brother's taking the spotlight. His wife is taking the spotlight. And they're MAGAs who print the papers consistently putting headlines about Meghan nonstop. And they continue. And William is so freaking dumb. He doesn't know that Harry and Meghan don't have control of the papers. They're not the one who's literally telling the papers to type. Because William, on the other hand, has control. He, like Harry said, they will spoon-fed the papers things to write.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain. But it's just a motto. And it doesn't really hold.
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story. And then at the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayed.
But Harry and Meghan don't, because they're not heir to the throne. They're way down the line. So they gave William that power that, oh, you could control what is written on the paper, we could write whatever you want, make him jealous. And at the same time, they're probably putting nonsense in his head, telling him, oh, your sister-in-law is taking the spotlight, your sister-in-law is this, Harry is that, and then until they make him push Harry out. How did they do that? Hire Simon Case to put it in freaking writing to get him out. All of these, all the MAGAs type. William is in the MAGAs type. Okay, they got into his head instead of thinking logically. So this is how dumb this guy is. To know that this is your brother. He had your back. But here we are. We're dealing with that. I hope I make sense. These are things are not written anywhere, but I plug their nonsense together to see this is what they're trying to do. They're not gonna come out and tell you, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. No, they play in tactical way. The only people who know exactly what they're gonna do is their co-conspirators, because they have to communicate with each other to know what each other gonna do. But they play William. He didn't know that. Meanwhile, Harry was his eyes and his back for him. So Harry was too smart. He was voice of reasoning. I've been saying this so many times. Okay, where was I in here? They were thinking, why make this more permanent arrangement when... Okay, let's start. Harry in the docuseries states, Chuck said there was no budget for clothes or food for Meghan. They were thinking, why make this more permanent arrangement when she will be swiftly kicked out of here anyway? And bet they were hoping she will be long gone before she ever got pregnant. This is where Harry and Meghan's foundation comes into play. When they were dating, the institution, the papers were not involved to cloud Harry's mind. He got to see Meghan with his own two eyes. Nobody had to tell him this is who Meghan is. Okay, he got to experience around Meghan's friends, see how Meghan lived her life without any interruption. They've been seeing each other for a very long time. None of her friends said a beep. It was until they were ready to tell people. As soon as he told his side of the family, that's when everything went crazy. All right, so he got to see Meghan for who she actually is without anybody interfering in their courtship before he started telling his family. Okay, so this is the foundation that they created, and he got to see it for himself. Whenever, after he told his family, and the papers know, and then you start hearing negative things about her. So sometimes things popped up, and he went and asked her if this was true, if this was not true. All right, so this is where their foundation came into play. It was solid from the beginning because he got to see Meghan for who she actually is with his own two eyes. Okay, I never understood this. She was hardworking, enthusiastic, great public speaker, so good with the public and gave it her all. These people, okay, yes, this is well-minded people talking here. What I just read here, this is well-minded people talking here. But these other people, they are fools, fooling the people. Their true character, their true selves, it's what's happening in the background. Okay, the unethical things that they're doing in the background, they don't want that. Okay, and then at the same time, what they're portraying people is that they above all this thing, they prestige, certain things are below them. Meanwhile, they are right into the core. You would have thought, there's Meghan, very well spoken, do all of this. No, they're not about that. Okay, oops, I click on it. I didn't want to click on it. They hated her for it. She and Harry were great together in their role, attacked and smeared while being newlyweds and new parents. Glad they left. William kicked them out. Okay, they hate black people. That's another part too. They want her and their family in jail. And not only that, it was putting other spotlight into the nonsense that they were doing, the royal family. They want her and the family and jealous of her black excellence. Jealous of her black excellence. Like it was so obvious, they're not subtle. I think you are wrong. It was clumsy, clunky, and very rough. The British were just too polite to say anything about the gaffes. I disagree, but there was no giving of grace or understanding. You take how someone crossed their legs as a major thing and use it to berate someone. A good speech was considered to work. A little perspective here. Ask yourself why this matters while others barely working therein. They just can't see that when Harry and Meghan went, the whole family institution went. I've been saying this. This is what I thought. I thought the royal family was one. When one of the members do something that is positive, guess who went? The royal family. But no, there were division among each other in there. So, divided you will fall. That's pretty much that. Alright, their PR is so important to them that they could never have an American biracial woman as the face of the monarchy. They hated that. She overshadowed all of them. She made the other royals, not just wives, look very ordinary and mundane. They can't have that. She is black, that's it. Alright, next tweet. Alright, let's go back. Let me make sure. 28. Alright, so let's read these and that's it. I'm back to the original tweet here. They just can't see that when Harry and Meghan went, the whole family institution went. I read that. Bango. William will always be jealous of Harry for marrying the woman he loves. It's obvious that William doesn't love Catherine. Oh, I forgot about that. He was a fan. William was a fan of Meghan on Suit.
Another claim said to be in the book. Harry reportedly writes that William and Kate were big fans of Meghan's TV show, Suits. I'll be giving you orientation. According to page 6, William said, bleep off when Harry told them he was dating Meghan. Harry reportedly writes, quote, I was baffled until Willie and Kate explained that they were regular, nay, religious viewers of Suits.
Harry didn't have time to watch TV. But William, from what I've heard, is that William and Kate were a fan of Meghan. He told them in their engagement interview, paraphrasing, he said, "At the end of the day, it will always be them together. And again, the wedding, stand by me, they should have listened. It worked with Margaret. She abandoned her true love for the comfort of being the Queen's sister. It only doomed her to a lifetime of misery, loneliness, and substance abuse." All right, next tweet. All right, let's pause this. I think I'm gonna do 2 parts to this, okay? I might divide this video into 2. Can anyone take a guess why Richard Eden is so upset about each of these outfits that Meghan wore? P.S. It's for petty and widely reaching reasons. I'm telling you, they find anything to create noise. I meticulously researched Meghan's protocol breaches and was shocked by my findings. The dozen I discovered make it so clear the signs were there from the beginning. Richard Eden. That's their engagement. I have to see what date they have there. Oh, I like that shoes. Not that I'll wear it. High heel, forget it, but I like it for some reason. So much could have come from this, and now we're seeing all of their flaws. All of their flaws. There's that. Okay, it's playing again. When August 8th, that was yesterday. He sobbed because it's shears. He cried because it wasn't by a British designer. He bawled because Meghan wore trousers. Because he thinks he can pull them off better than her. There's the laugh here. There's me here. Distraction from real issues. Politics? Just saying. Even back then I was thinking about that. Okay, if Richard Eden, aka Maureen, the man who feigned as disliking as ever was that he obviously has drank 3/4 of the bottle, why will his opinion, very biased, be worth anything? Her wearing clothes while being black and American, racism and xenophobia are his problem, said little twerp. He must live the dullest life on earth. Pusad. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Okay. Even by Richard Eden, same thing again, the screenshot. This is pathetic and frankly misogynistic. How dare Meghan wear a French designer to her son's christening? Again, what date was that? Okay, 2025. So old topic, they're bringing back up. Christening. I mean, the kids already been christening. How dare, we know when Archie was christening, but not a little bit. Even by Richard Eden's standard, this is pathetic and frankly misogynistic. How dare Meghan wear a French designer to her son's christening? How dare she wear trousers to Wimbledon, where royal women are expected to wear skirt or dresses in the royal box? That's the laugh here. How dare Meghan wear dark nail polish? Anyway, you know what they say. Well-behaved women seldom make history. So this is the screenshot again. Exclusive, that's Daily Fair. I meticulously researched Meghan's protocol breaches and was shocked by my findings. The dozen I discovered make it so clear. The signs were there from the beginning. Richard Eden. Okay, this is like textbook definition of boredom because all of the protocol breaches were literally made up for Meghan, as other royals had done similar things yet were praised. Exactly. You think he spent more time talking about the future queen's life work. Poor pathetic Maureen is all I've had to say for this foolish Richard Eden. This is a gutter rag that isn't even worth the mention. What a pathetic third. Next one. I think I'm sort of done. Santa Bali, Grenada, and I think this had. Never mind. That's something different. Okay.
Wanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.